When you're looking for more and there's no place to go, it's a sequels only bonus show. It's not about sequels this time, you know, it's a sequels only bonus show. Doug and his pals, well, they know what to do, talking about movies without a part two. Looking for more and there's no place to go, it's a sequels only bonus show. Talking to stars with Doug Ditsold, it's a sequels only bonus show. Sequels only bonus show.
Hey there, Doug here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. As you heard from that amazing theme song by my buddy TJ, it's a bonus interview, and this is such a great one. I was lucky enough to interview adult film star Alexis Fawx. Alexis was so cool. Of course, we did the usual, like I do with all my guests that I love. I love finding out how they got to where they are, because she's one of the best in the game. While we were talking, she was talking about a Performer of the Year award that she won, which is like a pretty big prize in her industry. So that was pretty cool. But I just loved our conversation that we had. We talked about really life itself and a lot about loving yourself, because that's key. You got to make sure you love yourself, because if you don't, who's gonna? You always got to be there for me. You always got to be there for me. But yeah, Alexis was great to talk to. We talked about obviously where she grew up, right in Pennsylvania, not too far from me in Jersey, and really just how she got to where she is and other things. She has her own brand of coffee. She loves comedy so much. You're going to love her. So without further ado, here's my chat with adult film star Alexis Fawx. No, so on your Instagram, you're very inspirational and you have like a lot of very, very like grounded, and you like know who you are, which is like really cool to see all of that. And I just saw some of obviously where you're traveling to, and that's really cool that you're very, it seems you're very one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's about balance, and every day is different, and it's always a work in progress. And thank you very much. I think it's good to aspire to inspire other people. You have this platform. So it's not that I don't have a bad moment. I'm human. We all do. But also social media isn't a diary. I think like too many people spend too much time on social media putting all their stuff out there. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't talk about it, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't think it belongs on social media. I think in order to heal, you spend time with yourself to figure out, why you've either attracted that or, why you're bringing that into your life, why you're having those emotions. And, you figure shit out that way. You don't figure it out online. You don't figure it out by all this distractions. So that's what they really are. It's distractions.
No, it is. No, it definitely is a distraction and like an escape at the same time, especially with everything that's going on right now. It is nice.
Yeah.
We do have technology, because like 20 years ago this happened. Obviously we had like AOL, but it would just be like so hard connecting and just like seeing people on FaceTime and Zoom and hanging out with friends and family members, like really helpful. But I understand there is like that toxic side of it where people are looking for that gratification, and like that's what they live off.
Validation and stuff. You shouldn't be looking for, validation outside yourself. Your validation should come within.
Yeah,
so that's all I'm saying.
So I think you're super interesting. So when obviously I know who you are, you're super popular in what you do. But one thing that was really cool and like peeling back from that is like just everything about you, the other things that you do, and that you were in the military. So I like to always start these conversations when I talk to, because I interview mostly like folks in Hollywood, but I connected with Tanya a while ago, and I interviewed Jillian Jansen, Brittany Amber. So she was like, "Oh, would you want to interview?" And I was like, "Yes, I would love to interview Alexis." So,
well, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak with you.
Yeah, no, I love hearing people's stories. So like when I interview actors, directors, everyone, I love hearing like the origin story. And so where did you grow up?
I actually grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania.
Oh, sweet. I'm in Jersey.
Like Amish and everything, like small town. I'm not Amish, but there was, like I'm just saying, it was a real small, like Amish kind of feel and everything like that. And I knew, yeah. And It's just too small for me. I'm not saying that's, as a bad thing or anything, but
No, I
I knew at
understand
an
what you're saying.
early age, I knew at an early age, like super, super early, before I could really put anything together, that I just didn't want to stay there, that there was so much more that's out there. And like, even to the point of like, I would have like these weird discussions with my friends before I even took LSD, that like, there's more to our brains than what our eyes can allow us to see, like, so,
Yeah.
so, constantly expanding I think that's why I travel so much, because I'm constantly looking to expand and constantly, wanting to be around diversity and people and cultures that are nothing like me. They don't like, I love putting myself in situations where I make new friends that we don't even speak the first language together, but eventually we do. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's so true. So me and my wife, we have our daughter's about to be 19 months. So we first met, we grew up in a small town in Jersey, and we always said like we never went to we wanted never like moved out of the state. So we turned like 25, we moved out to Oregon there for like a year, and then we came back to Jersey, and they were like, why the hell did we come back? So we moved back to Oregon, and we were there for like 2 years. And what's really cool is exactly what you said, like new experiences. We always said, like, before we start a family, we want to make sure that we have so many different like cultures and people we interacted with. So traveling is so key. And that's how you do that. Like, even just traveling within the United States, like we've done cross country trips like 4 different times and traveled up and down the coast. It's so key, like you said, like connecting with people, of different backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and that allows, the more you understand yourself, the more you understand others. So putting yourself in situations that is not familiar to you, outside your comfort zone, learning about yourself will help you understand a lot.
That's true. Going to a new city, we moved out to Portland with a bunch of money saved because we were good, and no jobs. And we just like did it. And it was like such a big experience for us, like knowing that we could do that. So from there,
Yeah.
from you knowing like, hey, this is again, like you said, it's not a bad thing if people want to live in a small town, but just for some people, it's like a plant. The plant needs like a bigger pot to grow.
Yeah, I just have really big roots.
Yes, you do.
I need to expand. I'm like a big tree, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bigger the tree, the bigger the roots.
Yes. So what was your first step to doing that? Like did you graduate from out there, high school?
Yeah, I graduated high school. So my first step, like what I knew would get me out of my small town, was joining the military.
Oh, wow.
I joined the military, and I don't know, this might sound bad. I don't know how this sounds to other people. Whatever, however that reflects, however it reflects. But I grew up in a small town. I was responsible for, me leaving my life. I'd already at age 16, because I moved out, responsible for my own life. And so what do you do? Like, you don't want to stay there. There's no jobs. There's no expansion. There's like, I felt like I would have a suffocating death, like an early suffocating death. So I was like, oh, I'll join the military. Now, look, when I was like in high school, like I had a mohawk. I listened to the Grateful Dead. I was taking LSD, smoking weed, doing all kinds of psychedelics, mushrooms. I was a hippie chick, right? Still am. So for
Nothing
me,
wrong with that.
I was just like, hey, I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to I knew that it would get me out of my small town no matter what. And I just sometimes you just have to to make great changes, you just sometimes have to take those risks, and you just have to say yes, and you have to be willing to venture on things that are going to make you feel a little uncomfortable. I didn't go in the military going like gun-ho. I wasn't gun-ho government. Like, seriously, like I was going to Grateful Dead concerts, chilling.
Yeah.
So it really shocked my parents. In fact, my parents didn't even believe me. They're like, yeah, right, whatever. You're tripping. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So
I was
when you
so I was like, yeah, well, I'm going out this time.
Oh my God, really? Wow.
Yeah. So I just need, like, in life, you have to make these great leaps and changes and steps. And what it did for me was it helped me gain a work ethic. It helped me gain, self-confidence. It helped me be able to adapt, in pretty much any environment. It was really good for me in a lot of ways. Coming from a small town, not having really a whole lot to me, that gave me a little foundation and stability, which I needed. And so it helped me grow up. it's a lot different, and I started going to college while I was in the military. And then I also got a degree, and I ended up getting out of the military my term, and then I finished getting a degree.
Where were you at? Where were you stationed? Where'd you go to school?
I got stationed after basic in North Dakota, and then so I started going to school or college. Yeah, it was fine. It's not the place; it's what you make out of it. I mean, if you're an asshole and a boring fuck, then you're gonna probably have a boring time in the city.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'm not. I'm imaginative. I do things. You know what I mean? Like I'm self-entertaining. I don't need external entertainment.
That's great.
So I started going to school at University of North Dakota, which is an absolutely fabulous college.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, I highly recommend it. It was a dietetics major. So I love to eat. I love food. I love food chemistry. I love how all that comes together with your psychological and your physiological and all that.
And that's why you eat so well, right? And you have your own garden and you do that.
Yeah, but I've always gravitated towards that. And even as a small kid, my parents never had a problem with me eating my vegetables. Yeah. It was the junk food. I never gravitated. I was like, hey, can I eat this cucumber? Hey, can I eat this? Never like, hey, can I eat the bag of chips or this chocolate? My mom loved junk food. I didn't really care for it. Now I mix it in just to have a fat ass, because whatever. But anyway. Get in the military, is get into college and stuff like that. And, and that took me from North Dakota to eventually Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, nice.
And in Baltimore, Maryland is where I finished out the military and also graduated college, which I got a degree in physiological psychology with a specialization in anatomy.
Wow.
Because I think it's pretty fucking cool how the human body works. And our minds we don't know shit about our minds, really. It's pretty amazing. Like, I don't know. It's a whole nother conversation.
Wild because we only use, a percentage. It's like, it's insane that we only use. What's the percentage? I'm sure you know.
Well, that's why I use psychedelics to open up these other doors.
That's smart.
Yeah, I just spent 5 days on the beach microdosing mushrooms. Like, that's just what I do. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, microdosing is great. I highly recommend. Like, it's great for headaches. It's great for depression. There's so many positive attributes to it. And what microdosing does is, and this is plant medicine. Like, I'm not fucking with chemicals. I'm not doing that shit. I'm talking just strictly plant medicine here. And I look at it as a medicine, and it helps. It helps your creativity. It unlocks these avenues and doors and within you that you discover within yourself, and it just opens up so much. And if you're feeling something or you're depressed, it just helps with so much. Like, I even had a headache. I ended up getting a headache on the first night. I started my microdose, and headache was gone.
Oh wow!
So it can actually help with migraines, and you can look that up if you wish.
No, I believe you. No, marijuana definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, there's been
so many different things.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know where I.
Oh no! So from Maryland, from Baltimore, what was like your next step?
So I graduated college, and I flipped a coin between Phoenix, Arizona, and Miami, Florida. And I was on the phone with my mother, and I let her call it Entailed One, and that's what Miami was. And so I packed up my shit, and at that time I had 2 cats, a motorcycle, and a car. And I went down to Miami, Florida, and I spent 17 years down there. So it was like it was like growing up in another place. Like, you know what I mean? It was a whole nother phase of my life happened there. Yeah, because you get there in your mid-20s, or I got there in my mid-20s. And, I just got to, Vegas. Almost 4 years ago? 4 years. It'll be 4 years in December.
No, that's a phenomenal story. So I never interviewed him, obviously, but Harrison Ford has a story. I watched an interview with him the other day. Him and his wife was an actress too. I forget her name, but he did the same thing. He was like, should I go to New York to do theater? He was in Chicago, and he was like, or should I go to LA? He flipped the coin. It came up in New York. So he looked at his wife, and he said, best 2 out of 3. And then he ended up in LA, and obviously the rest is history. But that's great that your coin put you where you're at, and then that's what led to where you're at today. So how did that come about in 2010? What led up to that?
So I was not really living my authentic self. And so I was unhappy. You're working for somebody, at that point I'm a paralegal, using all my little science shit degree. I'm unhappy, but it's never a 9 to 5. It's more like a 9 to fucking 11 p.m. because we're just kid-ass attorneys. You're just brought down to the bone, so you never see daylight. It's a miserable fucking life, right?
Yep.
You have no control over your time. It's miserable. Now, some people like having that strict structure. Thank God for people like you, because then you run the shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Hey, I work 7 days a week right now because I'm working for my own fucking dreams. And I know whatever I put in is what I'm going to get out of it. So It's mine. It's mine, bitch. I don't ever want to work for somebody else again like that. You know what I mean?
No, it's true, because the motivation's not there, because you work hard and you create something that could be like the greatest idea for a company. You know what? You're still cashing in that same paycheck. But for yourself,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So if you come up with something for yourself, so if you create some content that is something that's new and catches on, you're reaping those rewards.
Well, the fact of the matter, be the master creator of your reality. Take control of your fucking life.
Yeah.
Stop bitching and take control of your life. I don't have time to listen to someone gripe. You don't. Hey, I'll listen to you, but you better come with some fucking solutions. You better be out ready to change some shit. Don't come to me just to be a fucking bitch. I don't want to hear it. I don't have time for that, because you're never going to improve on yourself if that's all you're going to do. You know what I mean? Are you thinking outside the box? Maybe you're the problem. I've been the problem in my life. I've been toxic to myself. I just recently, I went on this trip. I did this ceremony, and my intention going into the ceremony is to be even more rigorously committed to my own self-awareness, to remove and to be able to extract my own toxic behaviors and situations and people on a much faster and easier base, without almost like breathing. No, you're not good for my energy. I'm moving. And you know what? I feel that vibrational shift because I'm committed to my fucking self, and I'm committed to my love. I'm committed to me. And when you're committed and knowing yourself and you're self-aware, you can be committed to other people. You can commit yourself to anything. You commit yourself to your dreams, your focus. Focus on your own shit, mind your own business. Just do it.
Wow. You need to write a little book or have something. That'd be awesome. Very inspirational and very aware the way you speak about it. It's like conviction. That's really cool.
That's our affirmation. You have to affirm and manifest. You got to know you already have it. And then you work to having it. It doesn't you don't just make a poster board and be like, I have it. No, it doesn't work. You got to put some work in. You got to put some work in, honey.
No, I know. That's true. It's all about loving yourself. Like one of my wife always jokes about me because I truly love myself, overtly, so to the point. So my favorite song to get myself pumped up for anything, maybe not before I talk to you today, but sometimes I do that before I talk to people. I play Sammy Davis Jr., I Gotta Be Me. And it's just I don't know why, it just speaks to me, because that's who you have to be, because everybody else can be. It's like my daughter, she watches Sesame Street. I love watching that too with her. And one of the littlest things that they talk about, little messages no one's youer than you. And it's such a deep thing, because why be somebody else? That's, be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's deep. Yeah. Sesame Street. Elmo can be very deep sometimes. And
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah. So really how did they approach you? So what were you doing that led up to Bang Bros approaching you in 2010?
Okay. So what happened was I was unhappy, living this miserable life, wasn't living my authentic self. So what do you do when you do that? You self-medicate with booze and whatever else. Miami, you can imagine. It was just at a playful, right? And I woke up one day and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm really miserable. I must really hate myself. And I started making some major fucking changes. And I hauled off and quit my job. Wow. And the first time since age 14, I didn't have anything else lined up. It was just I hauled off and just quit. I've always been responsible for myself. And I hauled off and quit. And I got to tell you, I wasn't even all that stress over those years. I mean, the stress would kick in on I would know it was 6 p.m. on a Sunday because stress, like I could just feel it in my spine. The stress would just come in, right? That's not a healthy way to live. Like, what is that? Like, that's not healthy. So it was almost like that, like Atlas removing the weight of the world. Like, it just came off my shoulders. And it was like almost like happiness. Like, I was like, okay. And then I took a lot of time off, took about a year or so off. It wasn't an easy year. I went through a lot of shit. But, all those great, like, as hard as it was and the changes that it was also the catalyst who made me into what I am today and who I continue to evolve into. So I'm so grateful, even though I fucking cried my eyes out for like fucking 3 months. And like, it was like, it was deep. It wasn't like, it was like deep inside, like you were like purging those deep shitty emotions right out. Like, holy fuck. It was a purge. And I do know that. And I'm so grateful for it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's helped me transform in who I am today. I work on myself all the time, whether it's using, I do believe that psychedelic medicine such as ayahuasca and like I said, the mushrooms and things of that nature, I do think they help you kind of break some down those walls and kind of make you see things that maybe you normally don't see. And just because it makes you see it, versus here, I think there's just way too many distractions when your eyes are open. There's like, oh, I got to do the dishes, or, oh, I got to do that. It's even I have to say, okay, I gotta sit down and give myself 30 minutes where I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing anything but just watching the birds eat, like whatever. And I do that. I try to do that every morning. It's part of my garden routine.
Nice.
Like you said, like technology and stuff. Thank God you've had it. And blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm grateful for? I could have left my phone. I'm grateful for my garden.
Yeah.
Every morning it makes me responsible. Throughout the entire day, I come out, I get the little sunlight on my face. I get to look at have you ever just watched a plant all day long? Like, it is amazing how much it grows. And it teaches you so much about life. Like, think about growth, right? That little seed. Think about that little tiny cannabis seed. And I can show you my plants. I think about how tiny that little seed is, and how big of a tree it can grow.
I know. It's
and how painful that must be. I mean, can you imagine cracking open your skin? And that's kind of like what changes are. You're cracking that shell open and growing, and you're growing, you're growing yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for each growth, that crack it's going to hurt. But within pain, and suffering is where you find your blessings and you find your happiness. I swear to God, I know it sounds, I've sat with shamans, I've sat with different Native Americans. I just sat with shamans in Mexico. Like, there is something within pain and suffering that really helps you awake to this. I don't know. Sorry, I can go off and I can talk. So.
I like it. I like when people talk. That makes a lot of sense. When you go through pain, that's where you see, like, that's where like when you should wait, where changes can come from. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's good to sit alone. It's good to get quiet and sit still and sit alone with your own thoughts. And again, me going on this trip, I go alone, I dive into nature, and I earth, I water, I use fire, I use air, I use all those elements. I dive into earth and reconnect my soul to it. And it's really, it's like, I don't know, each time it goes deeper and it's just amazing. I don't know.
What does it feel like to you? Like, you're just like reconnecting with like what kind
who you are, and like you fall further deeper in love with yourself, and you find like these new things about yourself and discoveries and new thoughts. It's a lot. I'm a thinker, so I sit around and I think a lot.
Yeah.
And I cry out of goodness and just, I'm very empathetic, and it's a way for me to recharge and revitalize and be with me and my own thoughts and work things through and become a stronger individual and a human being. And hey, what do I really want to get done? Who am I? What is this? Where are we right now? Like, we should be questioning a lot of fucking shit right now. We're all going through fucking crazy shit right now. Like, You know what I mean? Like
Like
there's a
the
lot of stuff
most
that,
insane, like everything all at once, like all of those things,
yeah,
even individually,
it
they would
leaves me even
be
worse to
difficult, but
treat.
all of them at the
Yeah.
same time is insane.
Yeah, it's like having diarrhea, the shit, pissing yourself, and vomiting all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad day.
That's not fun. So,
No.
so you were
2020
saying,
is like pissing and shitting and vomiting at the same time.
yeah. No, but it is a good analogy
And I
because right now
quote,
you don't know what to. It's so hard
I
to
don't
be
know
able
what
to
to
focus
believe.
on one thing.
Well, it's not even just focusing on one thing, and I don't think we should be focusing on just one. I think we need to be
No, I
focusing on
know.
our
That's what I
health
mean. Yeah.
and our I'm not just saying I'm saying physical, mental, emotional health, and
Yeah.
you know, where are we? I mean, when fucking domestic violence is up by 300%,
I know.
if that's not going to decrease with this fucking bullshit going on, and what are we really being told? I'm sorry, I question everything. I didn't. I questioned the government before. I fucking question it now. Like, how
Yeah.
do people not? How do we not know the fucking facts at this point? This is bullshit. They're pulling our fucking leg. It's psychological warfare on citizens. If you do that enough, you make them so goddamn dependent on the government, they don't know which way to turn. And then they're scared to even get in groups. Oh, you can't be in groups. Oh, but if you can, I'm pissed.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, I see civil liberties. Like, I'm a free thinker. Leave me alone. Like, you're gonna take seed sales away when people can't grow their own food? Fuck you. Fuck you.
No, I know. That's one thing that we could probably talk hours
Dude,
about.
I have a seed goddamn collection. I started a seed collection a while ago. I have so many fucking seeds. I'll be able to sell seeds. I will just give away seeds. Because I want people to grow their own food. Stop growing grass, people. Grass won't feed you. It doesn't even look that great anyway. So get yourself some raised beds or grow fruits, vegetables, flowers. Get pollinators in there. It looks lovely. It's easy to maintain. You could fucking do it. Like, no one's working anyway.
Yeah.
Tell you don't have time for that. How else are you? Go outside in your backyard and pick out your own fruits and vegetables. Now you know where it came from. You know if someone pissed on it or not, right?
Yeah, that's true. And this is the time, like, just like after World War II, like victory gardens were like a big thing. And
yeah.
So people should be doing that. Like, we just bought a house, so we have a garden, but it's like one of those things, like, it's just like you said, it's like keeps you honest, keeps you in a routine. And if you don't do something for a day, you're going to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, you know, I think, like, in a sense, like, you know, it's really a lot of psychological shit going on. Like, you got to really sit back and just remove yourself and just, like, take a moment and just breathe.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Really fucking crazy.
No, I know. It's like something it's very hard to like fathom.
Well, I'm just waiting for the people to just start committing suicide, like left and right, just walking themselves into buses and shit. Wasn't there a movie about that? I'm just waiting for it. I feel like I'm in the middle of a movie right now.
Like a zombie apocalyptic kind of. Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, like, what's going on? What? Like, holy shit.
I know. We lived up there, so we were thinking, like, man, if we lived there, we were there back in, like, when Trump won, and there was, like, a lot of Antifa and all of that, and, like, the Proud Boys from, like, Washington going there, and that was scary. Like, we couldn't go downtown, which was, like, a place that we like to go to, like, on Saturdays, because this cool, funky Saturday market. So we'd always walk there, but we didn't want to go anymore because it was scary. Like, right now, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, and then you have kids or something. Like, come on, like.
Yeah.
And then what I feel bad is, like, you know, like, who is this real? This is just hurting people's communities. It's not hurting the 1%. Take this shit to fucking Wall Street. Take it to D.C. or if you want to act that dumb fucking way. Like, why are you hurting communities, man? You're hurting these. That's what I don't like. I like peaceful shit. Get things done peacefully. Like, I don't like, you know. I don't like anger. People need to get angry once, I think anger is good to feel once in a while, but
demonstration.
But violence, and you're hurting people, and I mean, what are people expecting? This is not going to get better until someone stops. So what's going to stop it? Someone getting, like, mass people getting killed is what's going to stop it, and that's what's sick.
No, yeah, it would be like.
I mean, think about it. If federal people, I get it. You don't want federal people there. You don't want to, I don't understand it enough to even talk about it.
No,
because I'm also not even there. that I feel for these people. I mean, I feel for those businesses. I mean, fuck, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, can we stop hating each other? Can we stop being mean? Can we stop, please?
Like Ringo Starr
Why?
says, peace and love. That's what we need, is just a lot more peace and love.
That's also why, like, I'm trying to be as positive and inspire. Like, it's not just for other people, and it's not fake. It's also reminding me.
Yeah.
It's also reminding myself, like, oh, you know what? I needed to feel. There's a reason why I needed to read this today. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm thinking of a word, so I'll just like look up words. And I love reading quotes. I love reading poems. I love reading these things. And I love looking at things, and I'm like, you know, how does this really make me feel? What does this picture make me feel? Where is this? Where, you know, I felt like today on the ocean, I just felt like it was so alive, just the picture itself and the movement and the vibration, and it's such a life force. And it is. Everything is energy. Everything is vibration. You know, it's the law of nature. And it's just, I don't know. I'm so much negativity out there, dude.
No, I know. No, quotes are one thing I definitely agree with. Quotes, like I have like a vision board, because besides like interviewing people, I like write movie scripts. Like I have all these other things I want to do, so I don't have to work that 9 to 11 or 9 to 5 the rest of my life.
Right.
So one quote that I like live by, and I told my buddy that I'm writing a script with, and it's, one day the people that didn't believe in you will tell everyone how they met you. And to me, that's like so powerful, because it's so true. When you're on your journey, so many people are like, yeah, whatever. What are you doing? Like, why do you waste your time doing that? And then once you make it, and a lot of people I talk to have similar stories. Like when they told friends or family, like, hey, I want to do blank. And people are like, yeah, why? Why don't you just get a job? And then, you know, they're able to do something that they love. And so, yeah, no, that's true. Having the quotes.
A lot of people don't consider what I do a job.
I don't know why not.
No, but they don't.
Yeah, well,
you suck for a living. You know, you don't work hard. You don't, dude. Like I get up at 5:30 in the morning and I start my work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I take breaks throughout the day, but I'm answering people. Like I got a slew of DMs I got to get through tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down. I talk to everybody. I take my time with each fan. It's me who's answering you. Please stop asking me, is it really you? Yes, it's really me. I'm really answering you. That's why it takes me 5 hours just to get through DMs.
Well, that's really nice that you do that.
DMs on my private sites. I don't answer if people that don't know me, fans that don't know me, that I don't have business with. Okay, nothing like that. I only, I'll talk to my colleagues. I'll talk to people I have business with that I personally know via DM on a public network. But I've got to know you.
Yeah.
So if anybody's talking to Alexis Fawx on a public site, you are not talking to me.
You're not talking to her.
Tell you.
It's a fake.
And if anybody's asking you for fucking money or anything, you are not talking to me. I only talk to people on our fans. I only talk to my fans on my private subscription site.
So let's talk about like how you got to there. So how did, I know we're talking about so many different things and it's such a cool conversation. So like, how did they approach you? So you took that year off.
So I just answered a Craigslist ad to be an extra for Dancing Bear. And I went down there and they were like going through this laundry list of like, oh, if you kiss your friend, you make this amount. If you show your tits, you make this amount. We're only going to blowjob today. So if anybody, wants to be quote unquote the bride, the whole setup.
Yeah.
And do a blowjob, you make this much. Now, hey, I haven't worked in a year. I don't plan to work for anybody. And they told me how much I was going to get paid for a blowjob. My hand went up so fast. I didn't think about it. And that's another thing here I want to bring. Like, a lot of the decisions that I've come throughout my life and decided to go into, I don't sit around and bullshit about it. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for it and do it.
Yeah.
And you learn along the way. I mean, if too many people take too much time and all of a sudden 5 years go down the road and it's like, well, you still haven't started. Now it's going to be much different. So just say yes to the opportunity. And if you fail at it, that's part of the learning process. It's part of it. If it works out slow, let it be slow. Figure it a way out. Just know whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So I said, yeah, I've been told I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll get paid that. So I got to blow the bear, which is the main bride. Woohoo. And I did a damn good job. And the next thing I knew, I was booked the very next day for MILF Soup. And I needed to come up with a name, and I called my friend that was in marketing at that particular time. And Alexis Fawx came around. So there we
That's
go.
awesome. No, that's cool. So from there, did you sign so MILF Suit was Bang Bros. Did you sign when you sign with them, is it like for X amount of shoots or X amount of time or?
Yeah, well, eventually, I shot for a couple companies, and then I got contracted with Bang Bros because I did like the Bang Bus, and I drove the bus with Justin Parker quite a few times, and stuff like that, and then also the regular scenes. And yeah, it's like so many scenes per month and whatever, they needed you for and everything. And that's usually how it is. They try to give you, a minimum amount of scenes for an X amount of rate and everything like that.
So from there, what point was it, like what year? Is there like a point in time that you were like, wow, this is something that I can definitely do to make a living and do for the rest of, as long as you can do it? Was there a point that you felt that like, wow, I can do this?
Yeah, my very first, Dancing Bear. I was like,
really? Right from there, you're like, this is me.
Yeah, let's do awesome. It. Well, I'm a free spirit.
Yeah, of course.
I was always, a porn watcher before. I also have like this, this outlook on, I'm much deeper than just my skin and what you see, and I have a lot more depth than just what you see and just simple sex on camera. You know what I mean? It's work. It's just it's like showing up to another office and you do your job, you get to know the people, and I think sometimes like the better you know your colleague that you're working with, the better you can create the connection and whatever the scene's calling for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like acting. It is acting. So if you show up to the set and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to work with
a very physical actor.
Yeah, if you're working with say one of the names that I know, and I don't know if you ever worked with him, but like Tommy Gunn, and you show up and it's like some guy you didn't know that wasn't going to be there, like there has to be some like chemistry knowing what you're going into when it comes to like the
well, you just thought, that if it's a new person, you can develop that chemistry by just
of course, yeah, that's true.
You talk to them, you find out, because I would, being, in the MILFy categories, quite a few times, you get put with a newer person that you may have not worked with before. And so they may also be nervous and whatever. So, after working on the bait bus, literally, and talking to those guys and learning to, emotionally and psychologically connect with them in a way where they can feel comfortable, they can get hard, they can stay hard. Because, that's really what you want your male, first of all, working with males. Females is a little bit different. They don't have to keep a hard dick. But with guys, if they're nervous and they're not sure and they're new or newer, that can be an issue. Maybe they aren't used to having sex on camera a lot. And it helps to be, I think it really, really helps if the male talent, and female talent has, for lack of a better word, that perversion within them where just anything and everything turns them on in a sense. You know what I mean? Like we don't show up to set saying, well, I only shoot with this type of person. You know what I mean? I shoot with everybody. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah. And honestly, like, it's another thing great about this business. It's like you really, really can appreciate and realize how beautiful everybody and every type of body there is. Like, it just really opens you up. And knowing that, it also makes you a lot more confident in your own body and your own skin.
No, of course. So did you ever take acting classes before?
No,
No, because obviously there's acting that goes on, especially with, like when I was younger and like I would find like my dad's VHS tapes, it wasn't like really like there was no acting or really lines in it per se. But now it's like more of like, it is like an acting scene that leads up to everything. So like you were in like one, I'm sure you've been in ones before that, like I'm sure like Bang Bros and other companies, but like 2016, The Preacher's Daughter. So like that was like more of like
that was my first real kind of acting gig.
Yeah. So how'd you prepare for something like that?
Practicing everybody's lines, including your own. And that, for me, like what that helps with is that it turns into more, and I think who told me that too, is that I think it might have been Xander, because I think Xander is a great actor. I think he does a phenomenal job, and I think it was him. And like, just remember, it's just a conversation between people. So when you get that context in your mind, and then you just have that conversation, and you learn everybody's lines on the fence, then that conversation becomes a lot more natural and allows you just to act out that character and how that character would act, and you just become it. And I fucking love it. I didn't know I had that in me. And to be able to be like, I've never won Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress, but I've been nominated. And to me, just even that nomination felt really, really fucking good to do something that really kind of showcases a particular talent versus, hey, you're of a particular age and you have big tits, so we're putting you in MILF. That's the thing. Yeah. I really do enjoy my award by AVN. I really, in fact, I just received it in the mail. I just got my trophy. So, oh my God, it's super heavy.
Was that for MILF
it's not that I don't
Performer of the Year?
Yeah, it was for MILF. MILF Performer of the Year 2020. Yeah. But it's just nice. It's like, oh, wow, like I must have a little bit of talent in the whole little acting. And I just love it. I like to be a character. And so what that's also led is I'm very imaginative, as you can probably imagine. So to write, now I'm like, I got to dive into writing my own pitches and scripts and stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, I did a Pure Taboo, To Be Seen and Heard. I've written now The Voyeur Next Door for Brazzers. It was a 4-part series. Came up with also Unbound, which was a 3-part series for Digital Playground. And I just keep getting, like, it's crazy to like say, oh wow, I sat around, you know, imagining this, and now people are creating it. It's pretty fucking cool.
That's really cool. Have you ever thought about handling the whole thing and try your hand at directing?
Oh yeah. You know, absolutely. And I think there's also, you know, like, I think like a progression in your career, you want to write and maybe, you know, produce and direct and have a team and stuff like that. Now, obviously with what's going on now, it's kind of like,
of course, yeah,
put those kind of things on hold in a sense. But what it has actually, and it's given me an opportunity to learn about shooting my own content and how I want to direct it and how I want to produce it. And it just really, it's been really like educational on a lot of levels with that, because it kind of forces you, you know, to work your own sites. And like I said, I do all of my own sites. So, you know, you just kick that in high gear and you learn a lot more. And it's been actually really good.
That's cool. No, that's what's good about right now with technology and everything happening. At least you're able to still put out content for your fans during a time like this.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really grateful for all the fans that have continually to subscribe and new subscribers and that, you know, follow me on my different things and buy my coffee and all that jazz, because it's allowed me to.
I was going to ask you about that, because I think that's so super rad. And that's what I really like about you. Like looking at your Instagram, just you as like you, like who you are. I really think it's cool. You donated 100% of the coffee to Frontline Responders Front. That's amazing. What made you like choose? Obviously, that's a great charity to choose. Was that one that like
it was
close to you?
It was someone. I think I asked about it, and that just looked like really solid. And my mom's a nurse and stuff like that. And
oh, cool.
I just thought, you know, that would be, you know, beneficial for everybody, and it didn't just go to one person or one thing.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, it would be great to do more of that, actually. I would like to just kind of set up some kind of permanent thing where like 10 or 15% or whatever, I don't care, 20% goes to you, a different charity or something. Like, you know, I'm always thinking of ways to give back I'm a big believer in giving, so the more you give, the more you receive.
No, that's true. And I think it's really cool.
Some way or another, right? So
yeah. Now, obviously right now with everything going, I can't do it, but I thought it was really cool that you host and produce a show, which is pretty awesome because you have like comedians, musicians. That's really neat that you do something like that.
Yeah, it's a really great show. It's called Alexis Fawx. It's also cannabis friendly. I would love to open it up here in Vegas, but Vegas hasn't opened up any good smoking lounges.
Oh.
So that's been a bitch. But so we were doing it in LA, and it's great. People come. I sesh with everybody, you know. So it gives an even opportunity for fans to meet me on like this completely, like, I don't wear makeup. Like, I am myself. Like, the only time you're going to catch me with makeup is I'm on set or I have a fucking photo shoot. I don't wear makeup otherwise. I'm like, get it off of me. I'm a tomboy, dude. I'm a tomboy. Like, my feet look nasty most of the time because I'm always in my bare feet. So anyway, so it gives fans to me, there's a whole other perspective. If they want to, and I've had fans come to the show. I've smoked with people. It's friendly. It's good. People get off their phones. People are laughing. People are looking at each other in the face. You know what I mean? It's been really wonderful in that perspective.
Cool. What inspired you to start that?
My comedian and good friend, Richie Elise, actually, funny story with him is I went to see him years ago with another comedian friend that I have. I like to laugh, obviously. So I surround myself with people that are in comedy, I guess. And he was telling this joke about Bang Bros and about like, oh yeah, I'm a female driver and da da da. And I've been the only female driver, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I walked up to him after the show, and I'm like, hi, I'm actually that Bang Bros driver that you were talking about, Alexis Fawx. He was like, no way. I'm like, yeah, that was really me. So that's how we met.
Awesome.
That's how we met. Yeah. And then we just became friends. And he called me with this opportunity. He's like, hey, how do you feel about hosting and producing your own show? And I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Again, I said yes. And without like, oh, I don't have experience. And I'm scared to death to be on stage. But man, it is such a good learning experience. It's so riveting to be on stage. And the fact of it is, I'm funny with my friends. So I'm just trying to bring that personality also out on stage. All I have to do is talk about work, and people like, my life is hilarious. You know what I mean?
So it's the more you do it, and it's like a rush to be on stage. Like I've been on stage, improv, and it's like you get on there, people are looking at you. It's the best.
Yeah, and the more you do it, you get more comfortable and stuff like that. And it's a fabulous experience.
You know what show you'd be perfect on? And I don't know if you might have been on it, but the comedian Doug Benson, his show Getting Doug with High.
I've met Doug a few times.
Okay.
We should actually do that show together or whatever. And we've never gotten high together, which is kind of funny. But we run into each other once in a while.
Yeah,
it's funny. Just like a different thing.
Because he's had on a couple other people, like colleagues of yours.
Right.
So you'd be perfect. I forgot to look it up beforehand, but I was like, I'll just ask her now because I love that guy. I interviewed one of his mutual friends, a comedian, John Reap, and he told me some really cool stories about Doug, and like that guy's just super, super funny. So if you weren't doing, obviously did you ever think about, I know you were doing paralegal in Miami, but did you ever get into working what you got your degree in?
Well,
I know you do it personally.
Yeah, I think that ended up being more like, I mean, when you really think about how the mind and body is connected, because I also ended up getting my massage license in Florida as well and had a business.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so pretty much, like, I don't know, when I sat back and I think about things, it's like, oh, was that like for preparing me for really understanding the physiology, like the mechanics of the body and the mind a little bit, like have a scientific background? Is that why I ended up going that route? Because it's not like I ever really used the degree towards anything, because you've got to go further and further and further in order to really kind of use that degree, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny how the universe works, like what, the paths that we take and the different things that we do. And so, because I was like, at first I was like, man, I should have never did that. I mean, I hate the fucking student loans or whatever, but like, I think in a sense it's just given me maybe a little deeper understanding the more scientific type of data than just reading it in some random, internet articles or books or publications or of sorts. Like, to actually have the years put in for that, it was pretty cool.
So you benefited from it. That's all that matters. Like when you get a degree, some people that go to school for the degree never use it. Even it's for something that is not something personal, but at least you're able to take it and like, look where you're at today. It's so cool. Whenever I talk to anyone, like their journey, that's why I love talking about like, the beginning, the middle, and the end, because without the beginning and the middle, you wouldn't be, obviously where you are today. So it's really cool how some of your, like the coin flip. So if you ever wrote a book, it'd be called like the coin flip, because if you were in Phoenix, not saying you would end up being like, obviously, you just won a huge award, not saying that wouldn't have happened, but you never know. That's what life is. It's these different choices that you make, like Back to the Future, and that you create different timelines by making a decision.
Mm-hmm.
That was the movie we just covered, Back to the Future 3. We review movie sequels and I interview people that worked on them. So like that's like the main premise. And we just did Back to the Future 3 and I interviewed the guy that took over for Crispin Glover as George McFly. But yeah. So that's like in my mind now, like that film. And it's so true. You make so many little decisions in your life and you don't know like where would I be where I am right now talking to you if I did XYZ. So I think it's pretty fascinating. I love talking to somebody that is just so like I said before, like the first thing I said to you, like you're very one with yourself and you like know who you are. And it's really cool talking to somebody that has that frame of mind because you could really, the conversation could go anywhere, which I really enjoyed.
Right. Oh, well, thank you.
Well, you rock. Well, I'm so happy that I was able to talk to you and we connected. And yeah, I'm glad that I was able to learn about you. Like, because a lot of times people don't know about everyone that I talk to. Not a lot of people, read their biography. So it's really cool to be able to touch on so many different things. And you were my neighbor. Next state over, probably like 3 or 4 hours where I grew up. But it's pretty rad that I was able to connect with you, Alexis.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And when I put this out there, I'll reach out to Tanya and all in the notes of the episode. I'll make sure to put all the links that she sends me so people can, sure, more people know you than they know me, like probably time multiplied by 1,000,000. But it's always good to be able to help people out for taking the time. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a really great night. I appreciate it.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Man, wasn't Alexis awesome? She was a lot of fun, great energy. I just loved talking to her. And we had a great conversation. It was one that, it was the first time I had a conversation like that. Usually we're going through people's credits, which I love. But this is the first time that we were just going back and forth, just talking about life and being one with yourself. She's super inspirational. So I'm going to put all of her links into the episode notes so you could follow her. Again, thank you, Alexis. Don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.